A biomechanical sponge filter. I like this one. So here is the box, and this is what the filter is going to look like. Not really much detail on it. So let's get it open, let's have a look. Okay, so straight away, it's got the standard media that comes with most of these filters. It's not something I would use. Biomedia is much better, but we have some accessories with airline tube, which is quite handy, and the main unit. Kind of small and neat, I like this. You know, sometimes you see some real gems on the internet, and when you, oh look, it's got some sponge in there as well. So I see how this works. Okay, so let's take the other side off. There we go. So what's going to happen, and what's going to come through here, okay, get cleaned as it should do, and then get sucked into this middle bit here. Let's take this off. There you go. Okay, so it's going to get sucked in through the sponge into this bit where you're going to put this media, and it's even got that, look, it's even got a little bit to go around there as well. A bit rough cut, unfortunately, but in the middle of that is a very fine air stone. Okay, this is cool. This is how they should be. You know, I used to do this conversion years ago. We even got it on my channel. And then the, okay, so the tube comes down here. There should be a little thing that goes in here and some suckers. This is good. I like this already. So what we're going to do, I'm going to use this stuff. Let's open this up. Let's try and get something in here. I haven't really tried this stuff out too much, okay? I'm not a fan of this ceramic media like this, okay? That's not to say that it's bad, good, or indifferent. It's just I haven't tested it that well. But it's a full packet, so that's good. So we're going to put these on first, which is a good idea. Let's see how this actually goes together. There you go. Nice little package. Now that has got a lot of media in it for such a small thing. Let's get this back in here. So you're going to get a cycle out of this that, you know, it's going to probably do 100 litre, maybe 150, maybe 200 litres. But you'd have to test that. So the way you would test that, oh look at that, that's so cool. Spare air stone. Now I'll tell you the reason why air stones do deteriorate over time in anything you use them for, unless you buy the wooden ones. They're quite cool. And there it is, that's the thing you need. So that's going to go there, like so. Actually, let me turn that round a minute. I don't think it goes, there you go. So I'm going to put the airline on first. Put that on here. If you can't get that in 100%, just breathe on it. A little bit of moisture can help. And then that's going to go like that. How cool is that? You know, and then look, they've even got a little clip. This is so cool. They've even got a little clip there to hold that in. I'm not too keen on these things. Again, we don't know. I mean, we're just testing this out, aren't we? But it seems to locate. Not very good though. But hey ho. We'll see. They've even given you another spare one of these, which is good. Uplift tube. I like the old duckbill. That's quite a nice piece of form. It's got a nice form to that. All right, let me start putting these back together, and we will see just how good this thing can operate and how much water it can move. Now, with all my tests, I'm going to use the same air pump, because it would be unfair to update it. Now, my favourite air pump that I've tested over the time has been a Whisper. a Tetra Whisper, believe it or not. I would have thought it would have been something a little bit more expensive, but they do the trick. Okay, let's get it wet. Just before we get it wet, look at this. Look at this for a bit of engineering. This is so cool. Got a little bit that goes on here. That can go in there. Pull that up. Let's get that out of there. Hang on. Ooh, that's better. That can be extended. That can be clipped into there. That can go on top of there. So like this. And then boom. Okay. Get it in the tank. Okay, so this is a Tetra 150. Okay. Obviously, if you use the Tetra 200, 250 or 400, you're going to get better results from this. I use this because I use it on all of the tests. Okay, without further ado, let's get it wet. Okay, so that's the unit. All ready to go. So we're going to get, let's put it there. We'll put this air line onto this. Now remember, this is my Tetra 150 over here, so let me show you that. There's a Tetra 150. So first thing you need to do is get this to sink. Now it shouldn't take too long. Give it a little bit of a shake. Now this has got suckers on it, so it's not meant to sit on the bottom. Let me put that down. So it's meant to go on the side. Like that. Now you can rotate it any way you want. So let's turn it on. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now let me take this off. Get that out of the way. What do you think? What do you think? I'm not so sure. I mean, yeah, it does do the job, and it's definitely moving water through the filter. And the fact that it's stuck on there, it has got the gurgling, but it's not a bad gurgling. And if you could probably put that down a bit more. That's moving a lot of water there. Okay, let's have a look at just how much water that's moving. I'm quite impressed. Okay, so with a Tetra 150, which is this one, yeah, I think that's probably a little bit more flow, okay, than most sponge filters. And because it's directional, you know, you could literally, if you wanted to, you could do this, okay. There's actually no flow in there. It's moving the water, okay, which helps with oxygen exchange, or gas exchange I should say, and then that means you can have a better in there and it's not going to be too messed about with. It's not as shrimp safe, okay, as a normal sponge filter, but that's it without the directional thing. It's moving a lot of water. I'm really impressed with that actually. I didn't expect it to do that. Now I would set this filter up a little bit differently than the way they've got it set up, to be honest. I'd have a coarse and a fine, coarse and a fine on both sides, but this is now cleaning this bit here, this side is cleaning the water before it gets to the biomedia, which is exactly what you want. Ooh. Let's get rid of some of that air. But that is a fantastic thing. But I think we need to do the pros and cons. And I say all the links for this will be in the description. Okay, I really don't know whether I want to hate this or love it. It reminds me of a 1953 film, War of the Worlds, that bit on the top there, coming out like that. But anyway, so it has got everything you need for a filter, okay? It's got sponge to clean the water before it gets to the biomedia, which is absolutely paramount, yeah? You can literally stick it anywhere. I wouldn't stick it on the bottom too much, but that's good. You can swap out all the media. You don't have to have this bit on the top. You can literally just take that off and done. It comes with a spare one of these, which is obviously important because you can break these. I mean, they're quite flimsy. It comes with airline. And also, the one thing I do like about this, I personally wouldn't have it sitting too much like that. I'd have it sort of in the corner like this, okay? Maybe with a plant up the back, okay? That will then help you sort of cover all the airline, all right? Or you could have it on the back wall and face it like that into the middle of the tank. That's a good way of doing it. Or again, on the side if you wanted to, and have it just facing that way, and that will cause a motion like this. But all in all, it's great. Change out the media though. You know, if you've got your own media already, you know, especially if you've got a little sponge filter, this is obviously going to be better than the sponge filter on its own. You still have the sponge cleaning it, but again, with these little holes like this, it's not really shrimp safe, to be honest. I like it. Guys, thanks for watching. Take care.